Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. I hope you all had an awesome weekend, and I'm up today. I'm just going to make a really quick Easter card, and I want to use some of the stuff that I got for my Snap Click supply. Over the weekends they were doing 25% off their Easter packs. I don't know if they still are, but I got the Jodie Lee, and already I can't remember the other one, but I don't think it was an Easter, the other one that I'm using. It's just that I found it matched in with the Jodie Lee postcard set that I decided to get. So anyway, I am using this one because I just think it's a great vintage rose, and it's not traditional Easter at all, is it? And I'm going to use a sheet of white cardstock to layer that up. And then this one, which is very matchy in its colours, look. If I move that across, you can see that. And I'm wondering if this isn't the Cartabella farm pack. It might be. I'm going to try and find out and put it below so that you can click on it and go and have a look at it if you want to. So I'm going to sort of like space those out, hopefully correctly. And this is one of the Jodie Lee vintage Easter postcards, so I'm going to have a little bit of that going on. And then because I love the rose so much, if I pick this up and just grab my silicone mat here, I've got my bits here, I decided to use my Jenny bowling punch, which is this one. And it's really easy. It's one of the easy squeezy ones. And I think this is EK Success. And there was a huge bunch of these that turned up on eBay. And I grabbed one. I think I paid $9. I don't know why they all sort of like turned up all together. It might have been a store doing a clear out of old stock, because it's not a new punch, it's quite an old one. So I managed to do those, and I've cut those out, and I'll show you just how easy this punch is. Look, if you grab your sheet of cardstock, you pop it inside, just line it up to the design that you like, and just squeeze it. Squeezy punches are lovely because, as I say, they just do not hurt your hands at all. And you can actually go along and create like separate banners by connecting them all together. But it is, as I said, a little pennant banner. And I've got these little ones, and I've got some white cardstock because I wanted them slightly thicker. So I'm going to be gluing those bits onto the white bits. And then when I'm done, rather than use them as a pennant banner, I want to use them as corners. So I'm going to sort of like take 3 and layer them up. And one of the nice things about this punch is that you can make little flowers with them, and you can put a little sort of like gemstone or anything in the middle. So it's quite a versatile punch. I'm sorry, my paper, you know, it's all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue my colour bits to my white bits and come back. Right, so I glued these together, and the only thing left to do is finish them off with a little bit of black soot distress ink. You can use oxide or distress, it's up to you, and just, you know, go around and finish the edge so that they stand out just a little bit against the background. You know, you're kind of giving them a little shadow so that they just don't completely disappear, because we are using a lot of very same colours. So that's all I'm doing here, is just putting a little touch of black soot on the edge. I mean, you can go as dark as you want to. I've also grabbed my gold sparkle pen because I want to do, I think, just the edges of these to make them show up a little bit more. And there's also fluff on the table again, a little bit on that image that originally would have been gold. So I think I'm going to do that in my gold sparkle pen too. Right, so I've just dusted the edge with just a little bit. I didn't, you know, overdo it. So I didn't have much ink on my dauber. But if I hold them up, hopefully You can see the difference. Are we all blurred again? It's really nice when I can get microscopic. There you go. Can you see that little dark edge compared to this one that I punched out a minute ago? So you just got that nice little bit of shadow around the edge there. Right, so move that one out of the way because I don't need that one. And I've got 12 little pieces now. And just to show you, with this punch, if you manage to find one, because they were quite popular, you can just keep going around and connecting them if you want to, and make a great sort of like rosette style little flower. It's just really, really sweet. I love it. Right, so my gold sparkle pen, I've got this one. This is, I've told you about this before, it's a Uniball Signo, and it's Uniball Signo sparkling. These are not cheap. They are not cheap. I can't remember how much I paid. All I'm going to tell you is that they're not cheap, but they work. And that to me is the important thing. Now, if you look at this vintage image, this Easter greeting in the rabbit's mouth there would originally have been in gold. And sometimes, and I know other people have commented here as well, they feel that when all they're using is printed images, they feel like they're cheating a bit. So they tend to go in with a bit of ink. And, you know, I kind of feel the same way myself sometimes. So that's why I'm doing this. And you only have to put this pen down really, really gently, and I will pick it up so that you can see it, for the ink to come flowing out. I mean, it really is like just a whisper that you're touching it with. That's the only way I can describe. Feather's touch, even lighter than a feather's touch. And I'll go around there. It just kind of makes it a little bit more special when you put a little bit of extra detail onto a printed image. So I'm just going to continue that across there. And you don't have to be perfectly straight either. I mean, if you wanted to do this with glue and then, you know, shower a lot of microfine glitter down there, you're going to get the same really lovely vintage effect. So I've got my frame now and it's all sparkly in gold. Now you could add little gold touches into the flowers if you wanted to, and maybe I will. Because then the recipient, when they pick it up, it's just going to catch the light. I'm trying to think what these flowers might be in the rabbit's hair. And I've got the feeling they might be violas or something like that. You can let me know if I'm wrong. Oh, and then we've got one in the chick's beak there. So you've now got these pretty little sparkling elements on your printout. I just think it adds to it. I mean, you don't have to do it, but I just think it looks really lovely. And if you want to, see, this is where I start getting carried away. You can follow the other elements on the cutout there that you think may originally have been gold. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just putting that little stripe on the egg. There's a little bit coming from there, and then we've got a little bit there. So hope you can see that. So that's kind of like pushed up a little bit of paper. So that needs to dry for a minute. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the edges of these as well, just to give it a little bit of detail. So I've got 12 of these to do, and I've just done one. I haven't done it perfectly. It's just kind of like underneath my dark shadow there. Probably not going to show up. But it is super, super sparkly. There you go. So I'll do those and I'll come straight back. Right, so I finished doing those and I've got all my little gold squiggles around the edges. And it's just something that's going to, you know, it's just a little extra something that will catch the light. No, there we go. and it kind of ties in, I think, with the vintage look of it. So there's an extra little something we did. And I also glued down all my base pieces. Now, you'll notice that's quite unusual for me. Everything is flat. It's flat stuck down, one on top of the other. No foam tape at all. It's just totally flat. So that is the card. And the reason everything's flat is because, as I said, I want to use these pieces as corners. So I want to kind of like go in like that and make a pretty little photo corner into the edge of each one. So it's kind of like deciding how you're going to do it and then fanning it out. Can you see that? It just adds a really, really sweet little detail. So let's get one done first. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the left edge, the right bottom edge, and then have something to slide in and manipulate and put glue onto that. So I'm going to do my two edges first. And I quite like that red rose, so I'm going to have that bit in the middle. So as I said, I'm going to do the left edge with some glue, and I'm going to make sure that that is straight there, and I'm gluing that down. Now, one of the things about Dollar Tree glue is that sometimes it can take a few seconds to stick. It actually depends on your weather. So I've got that one there, which looks like a pretty little photo corner. And then this one I'm going to stick down, but I'm only going to glue it on the right edge so that I can slip my center one in. So I'm just going to show you what I'm doing there. And hopefully you can see it. So I'm going to cross that over. I've got it with my edge and it's flat. So you can see what I've done there, and I've got my gap in the middle, and then I can put glue on both sides of this, and then if I need to put another drop underneath those openings, then I will do that. But gluing it this way means you're going to get your spacings accurate. So I'm going in with my red bit and I'm going to slide it under. Let's get into there. See, the best laid plans of mice and men. Who actually said that? I don't know, I can't remember. But that is down and glued accurately now. Which means to hold this little piece in place, all I need to do is get my glue bottle and just go underneath there and stick it down. So that's how I'm kind of like bringing my roses to the front of all those other gorgeous colour patterns and stuff that's going on top. So let's get a close-up. So there we've got that lovely little corner just made out of a punch. So I'm going to finish my other three corners and I'll be right back. Right, so that's all completed and glued into place, and I hope the camera's not going to play up, but let's see how close we can go. So rather than use any foam pads today, I've used a punch that's created that absolutely gorgeous dimension, and it's really textural. I don't know if you can see that. So, you know, just a simple little punch like that, and that would look equally as good on a journal page or as book corners. And if you built them up with another layer of cards so that they're super thick, then, you know, for a book album cover, something like that, a mini album cover, it's going to protect your edges for you. But I just think that's really, really sweet. So if I move that over and just lay it down, you can see those flat images where, you know, as I say, sometimes we can feel like we're cheating if we're not stamping and colouring, and really I don't think that's the right attitude to have, because I think creativity is creativity, isn't it? but with the punch and that little bit of gold pen, and we've got that lovely sparkle in the bunny now to the egg and that little sign, and just a gorgeous little vintage thing. So I thank you so much for watching today. I hope that was useful. I hope you managed to find one of these punches, and I think there are several. So it must have been sort of like an old store or a warehouse clearance, and they discovered loads of them, because there's no label, you know, on the front saying Jenny Bowling. It just says, it's Fiskars. So it's a Fiskars Jenny Bowling punch, and it's from 2012. So I hope you can get yourself one, because as I said, you know, just looking at those corners, even though my camera's gone blurred now, you can see how that would make a flat looking rosette, and could have a little diamond or something dotted in the middle to make pretty flowers too. Right, so that's it. I haven't got a clue what I'm up with tomorrow, you know, because my brain's all over the place at the moment. I know we've got rain all week, which means crafting and no gardening. But as I say, I thank you so much for watching. And I've got some hot picks below. See you tomorrow. Bye.